just good. Yep. 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 Oh, mamacita. Hmm. Hmm. The beauty of stop motions. Cool name. I need to look at your channel. Bro, cool channel. Very cool. You got a sub for me, bro. Beauty of stop motion. Yeah, I had a hunch. With a name like that, that's pretty cool. You make stop motion stuff. That's sick. Sick with it nasty. Sick with it nasty. I love that stuff. Truth be told. Well, I was bored and I couldn't think of anything else to do after I practiced guitar, so yeah, we're just gonna do this. And I had an idea in mind. I was working on this 3-note per string scale. Silent Rob stop motion. Nice. We got 2 stop motion people here. That's pretty cool. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I need to see your channel too. I hope you do stop motion as well. If so, you'll get a sub, bro. I like your cover page right off the bat. Yeah, I'm subbing anyway, bro. Silent Rob. That's what's up, bro. You play guitar too. That's sick. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, cool channel, dude. Sick with it nasty. Sick with it nasty. I mostly post shorts right on. That's sick. Yeah, all the posts, all the shorts that get posted to my channel, they all come from my lives. The algorithm picks up like a snippet of whatever live I'm doing, and it just makes the short for me. So it's actually pretty cool. Thanks, bro. I will sub to you. Yeah. Nice, bro. Thank you. So I don't know if you heard me, but I was just gonna try. There's this 3-note per string scale I learned back in college, and then I saw this guy that I idolize. I like. He's a guitarist, and he actually plays it, on guitar. So I just figured I'd try it on bass and kind of just keep going up the metronome, you know, start at 100 and just keep bumping it up. And yeah, I don't know. So I'm just going to be playing the same thing over and over. I'm not really going to be doing much unless somebody wants me to play something. Scale goes something like this. This bass is hard in my opinion, yeah. Well, it is. You know what's hard in my opinion too is guitar. This came easy because I started playing when I was really young and I kind of taught myself. So after over 25 years of playing, I've definitely been, I definitely know how the bass works and how it feels more than I do guitar. I mean, I kind of do more on like a little bit 50-50 on guitar, but what I noticed with guitar and practicing guitar is that how like there's I guess there's just some getting used to it, I guess, you know, especially with my right hand picking, you know what I mean, this motion right there, you know, with the pick. But not just, you know, picking aimlessly, whatever. I learned from this guy about Sero picking. You know, Sero picking kind of like this, where you're kind of drawing it like a pencil, you're staying relaxed. And so it's like a whole new thing for me. What does he say? I just think so crazy how people are able to play with their fingers like that. Yeah. Well, that actually takes some work too. You know what I mean? When you I don't even remember how I guess if you use like one of your more tender fingers, say like my pinky, I guess that's kind of like how a beginner would feel. So you have to like actually sit down and build up the callus on your fingers. You know what I mean? And it's just sort of the, you know, that kind of motion. For all beginners, I kind of go over that too. You know, all that stuff. It's really like rudimentary, really basic stuff. Then we get into like doing arpeggios or whatever, scale, whatever. But anyway, so this 3-note per string lick sounds something like, I'll just see if I can do it here. So I'm starting on C. I'll just break it down real quick. C. I have a 3-octave range on here, so 4 if you count the open string as C. So this is C, this is C, that's C, and that open string is C. 4 C's, dude, C4, dude, like the energy drink. So I got, alright, and this isn't tuned like a guitar either, truth be told, because, oh, you definitely know what I mean. Okay, cool. But yeah, my extra strings are on the outside. So I got an extra string on the top. That is the top, not the bottom. Top. First string, C string. Then we have a low B string. So these ones in the middle, E, A, D, and G, are the first 4 of your guitar. So that's how it works. My tuning is all symmetrical. It's all in fourths. It's all in fourth intervals. 4 notes between one note and the other. So starting on B, B, C, C sharp. Oh, I'm sorry, B. What am I thinking? B, C, D, E, E, F, G, A, and so forth. Anyway, here's the scale. I'll play it kind of slow. Oh, lost my place, sorry. Yikes, let's start over. C, let's call them out for what they are. I can remember it better that way. C. D, Dorian. E, Phrygian. F, G. All the way to the top. And that's why I like this exercise. This exercise is fun because when I was running it last night, I wasn't trying to like play it as fast as I can, light and fast. I was just like pretty isolated, like just going off of like kind of just doing them in little microbursts, But then I remembered what the scale is and how it teaches you to like, I can actually double it up and do 3 octave on it or double octave on it, meaning like I can go. I can expand off of it. What does he say? I have a guitar set up in D standard. Oh, Slipknot tuning. I have another one for playing stuff in E, E flat, and D. Very nice. This seems like a cool exercise, though. I need to do stuff like this and learn the shapes. Yes, and also, yeah, the shapes are important, man. The shapes are fun because it's like you memorize them and then you can kind of let it go. So when you're running them, you're basing it off of the sound of it more than the look of it, in my opinion. Other guys remember things differently. Other guys are just, whatever. Everybody has their own system, but ultimately it is that. Like that one's easy. It's like 3 note or 1 fret apart. So it's like 1, skip, 1, skip, 1. So like that. And in fact, it's important to run them by themselves a few times. Like isolate just that itself. And then move on. Now see, I get caught up too sometimes with like, if I should play with the 3rd, with the ring finger or the pinky finger. So I'll have a tendency to not, I'll change it up to the 2nd finger. I don't know. But anyway, whatever gets the job done. Right? I actually like sticking with one pattern and not breaking them into 2. So like what I mean by that is like 1, 2. It's either stick with 1, 2 leading or 1, 3. So it's either going to be 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, or is it going to be 1, 2? See what I mean? Because if I play them both, it's important to practice both. That way your brain is kind of, you know what I mean? You can like split the 2 in half and be like, all right, I can do that. I can do this. I can do that. Maybe that's just how I'm thinking. I don't know how I approached it. and so forth. You can even play it like a legato, so you can hit the string one time. Yes, this is a 6-string bass. Hello, what's up, brother? Wyatt. So what I was saying is you can do like Lydian, or I'm sorry, not Lydian, legato style, you know, where you're just like hitting the string once. You just hit it once and then hammer on the rest. Oops. Then we're going to do it backwards. Ah! What was it? Like that. That's more advanced though. I want to warm up to that, you know what I mean? I want to be able to warm up to that. I actually snagged this. I snagged this riff from Paul Gilbert on guitar. I saw him do it in this video, and he was explaining it the same way. It was just a 3-note per string, but he was like, I was like, whoa, that's cool. I can do that. Maybe not. But I like the design of it. I like the design of the scale itself. And lately I've been doing this practice, which really helps, is starting on 100 from the metronome, or starting anywhere, really. 60 is ideal too. And then building your way up, all the way up until you can't go, you know. Sort of like to the point where you lose control or where you can't play. Like you're like, you know, that's where my stopping point is. Like usually between 170, 180. Who are some of my favorite players? Bass players. R.I.P. Sam Rivers. He just passed away last October. Sam Rivers was a huge influence of mine. But probably the most prominent one was Les Claypool. Really got me into it, really into studying it and getting into the bass, you know. Yeah, man. That was all great stuff. Geddy Lee. That was my dad's guy. So it was cool because my dad got me into all the music I listened to, really. My mom and my dad. My dad was more like Rush, Judas Priest, Rush, Iron Maiden, all the 80s, 70s, 80s stuff. Rock, mostly. Van Halen. And then my mom was like ABBA and Blondie and Motels and Berlin and 80s pop. So I got best of both worlds. Steve Harris is my favorite guitar. Geddy is great too. Yeah, dude. Alex Lifeson too. Incredible guitarist. So what was cool is that my dad's guys, Rush, were sort of like, you know, they interlocked with my guys, which was like the Primus guys. So, you know, Primus opened for Rush back in the early days of Primus. and all that story. So, but yeah, definitely Primus. I mean, Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers. I wouldn't say he had a huge impact, but I did love the way he played. Played with that. What was it? What? I don't know, something like that. The Fieldy from Korn. That was early days. I thought those guys were super cool. The guy from Mudvayne, Ryan Martini, he's sick. He had a unique way of playing. I don't know. He sort of kind of tapped. What are the bass players? More bigger guys, prominent guys like Jaco Pastorius. I remember hearing of Jaco Pastorius when I was a kid, but I never was like, oh yeah, because I had Bass Player magazine growing up. Yeah, we had magazines back those days, so I had subscriptions to all of them, man. Bass Player, Guitar World, Guitar One, Hit Parader. I mean, that was all about magazines. And I remember seeing Jaco on one of the cover of them one time when I was probably about 12 or 13. And I remember my bass teacher was like, dude, that's the guy. You know, I was like, oh, cool. But I never really went into a deep dive with Jaco. But then I did when I went to college at 19. So around 19 years old, I started listening to more of that stuff. Oh, John Mayung from Dream Theater. Yeah. John Mayung from Dream Theater. I got into Dream Theater later on. So around the college years, I got into Dream Theater and Jaco, you know. Yeah. Yeah. Those guys are solid. Yeah, man. You know it. So I really want to get into the same mindset of those guys a lot of times. You know, I want to be like, yes. I love bass. I'd like to try to get into it more. I have a 5-string, yes, that belonged to my little brother. My little brother. Cool, man. Yeah, you should borrow that from him and start ripping. Cool. When you do so, man, hit me up and I'll show you some stuff live. That's good practice too. Just the first thing too is getting your fingers developed better. Absolutely nothing worse than people with horrible technique. It's cringy. And you'll get used to playing certain styles and stuff too with slapping. It just takes time. But just like with, I'm learning from guitar right now, and after 5.5 weeks of practice, solid daily practice of the guitar, I'm starting to get better. You know, I can tell I'm getting better and natural with it. You know, my biggest goal is to be able to play freely, and what I mean by that is to play whatever I so choose. You know, but with purpose. Does it make sense? Play with purpose, man. Play with every note you hit. You're even if it's a bad note, you know, just play with some sort of direction. You know, when I watch guys that are fluid with this stuff, I'm like, yeah, man, there's absolutely no reason why I can't do that. You know what I mean? So, like, if you had beginner, intermediate, and advanced, say there were 10 levels to each, I'm probably right in the middle of intermediate. You know what I mean? So if I had like 5 more levels, I would be right on the cusp of advanced. And then advanced is like the top of Mount Everest. You know what I mean? That's where I want to be. My brother used to be able to play Megadeth songs with his fingers, which probably isn't like that impressive. It probably isn't that impressive, but was to me. Yeah, man. No, it's always, yeah. In fact, it isn't, because Dave Ellefson played it with a pick. I don't know, I forgot what his licks are. But yeah, he was all a pick player, dude. I got to meet Dave Ellefson once. It was pretty rad. Swell guy. Oh yeah, back to the scale, shall we? Now I'm breaking that up in eighth notes. No way, that's sick. Yeah, way, bro. Yeah, cool. Fun fact. So I work at this theater. I work at a music venue where I live here in Arizona. And I work at this music venue. I've been there for 4 years almost. So this must have been around last year, maybe? Yeah, this was about last year. So 3rd year there. And it was funny because this band from the 80s, old cheesy metal band, if you want to call them that. I think they're rad. They're called Wasp, W-A-S-P, Wasp. And Wasp were playing at the theater that night. And Ellefson, he lives here in Scottsdale somewhere, I think. Him and Disdain, and a lot of the metal guys live in Arizona. But he was coming by to drop off some guitars for his buddy Blackie Lawless. And so, yeah, bro. And then, yeah, absolutely. Handful of bangers. Yeah, nice. I'm 39. And so, dude pulls up in this Beamer. Respectable Beamer. It wasn't like a show-off type of Beamer. It was just a Beamer nonetheless. And he parked in this spot. And me and my friend, we had seen him go back and forth, and we were like, pretty sure that's him, right? I was like, dude, that's Dave Ellefson. It was a spitting image. And I was like, pull it up, you know. But later on that night, I'm working outside and doing the load-in area where the bands are loading in, and he parks in a spot that was semi-available, but not. Like, only certain people can park there. But I didn't know he was a somebody. So he parked up there, and I said, hey, excuse me, sir, I can, and I looked up, and we locked eyes, and he can tell that I knew who he was. And I went, like that, and he just looks at me and goes, hey, man, how you doing? Boom! And it was just like, gosh! Orbs of lightning. And I was like, yeah! The mighty hand of Dave Ellefson. And it was mighty, dude. We got claws, dude. Badass. And this was right before Ozzy died, I think, too. So, and then shortly after that, he was off to do the Ozzy tribute thing. But it was very cool. That's just one of many. So I met Blackie too that night as well. He's very cool. Very Blackie's a character too. He's really tall too. He's about my height, 6'4". And he's just, I'm like standing, we're like level. And I was like, yo, what's up, man? You know? Didn't know this guy was an absolute beast, right? That's a great story. Yeah, it is, dude. That's so awesome, man. Hey, here's another one too. You're a guitarist. Another one I met was Marty Friedman. Marty, he was so cool, dude. Marty Friedman was probably one of the coolest guys I've ever met. Because he actually stopped and talked to me and was like, I had a 5-minute conversation with him about the school I went to. So I went to MI. I went to MI 15 years ago. And so did Paul Gilbert and all that. I'm like big fans of all that. And freaking Marty is playing his solo tour that year. He comes to my theater. He hadn't quite made it to the venue yet, and I'm working backstage once again. And his TM, his tour manager, Yoshi, I think his name was Yoshi, and Yoshi was like, "Oh yeah, he'd be on his way. He's coming soon, you know." And he's from Japan and all that stuff, and Marty lives in Japan and all that. But Marty pulls up in this Uber, and it's this busted ass car, and looked like it just left the trailer park or whatever. The hubcaps were falling off. Yeah. And I'm like, what? And he gets out. I can see his curly hair, which is all real, by the way. Probably dyed, but is real and authentic, not a wig. And he pulls up, and he's about yay big. And he just kind of looks up at Toshi and goes, "Hey, how you doing? How you doing?" He's all calm, cool, collected. And he's like, he looks up at me, and I had been talking to Yoshi the whole time. Yoshi hooked me up with pics. I remember that. Because I asked him, "Hey, if a couple pics fall off the van, you know, let me know." He goes, "Oh, no, I got you. Yeah. Yoshi hooked me up with some pics. And I was right in the middle of the story talking to Yoshi about my years at MI. Because TM was sparking up a conversation with me. I'm all stories, right? So I'm right in the middle of the conversation telling him about how I studied bass at MI. And Marty pulls up. I'm in mid-conversation. He gets out of the busted car. He looks up and he goes, "Hey, how you doing?" Shakes my hand. I was like, hey, how you doing, man? Oh, I said, and then Yoshi's like, "Oh, he goes to MI." And I'm like, yeah. He goes, "Oh, really?" And then as soon as he said that, his interest sparked. And he goes, yeah. So who was there at the time, you know? And I'm like, "Oh, this guy and this guy." He goes, "Oh, yeah. Dude, he's a solid guy, man. Yeah." And then we just start getting into an MI conversation. It was awesome. Very cool. Marty is my favorite player that Megadeth ever had. I know, dude. He's the GOAT, bro. He seems like such a humble dude. He was. Very much so. Calm, cool, and collected. But I think when I said the stuff about MI, he got really geeky. He got geeky. It was great. I've also met the guys from Meshuggah. They were the first people I met when I first started working there. Within a couple months of working there, I met Meshuggah. They came through my venue. I took that day off, and I knew I was gonna cross paths with them. I said, "I only got one opportunity to do this. I'm going for it," and I did, and it was glorious. Yeah, Meshuggah guys, once again, very humble. Very, very, very humble. Very level, like grounded people. Those guys are absolute warriors. And from the music they've made, you know. That's why I was a big fan. Anyway. I think the most famous person I got to meet musician-wise was Kyle Gass from Tenacious D. That's rad. Well done, sir. Yeah. You know that guy really plays well. He's a fantastic player. Acoustic, too. You know what? That sparked some interest, too. I have an acoustic. Maybe I should learn some of that stuff. I think I used to know how to play Wonder Boy and Tribute. I have to dig those up again. I've always wanted to learn Classico. Can't you see he's the man? Let me hear that one. I've always wanted to learn that one. He played a show at a local venue. I didn't really talk to him, but I shook his hand. Yeah, nice. Signed my poster and said thank you. I was so nervous. Yeah. You know, it is a little nerve-wracking sometimes. I was nervous. Oh, dude, I was like deer in headlights when I met Meshuggah. Oh, I was like mouth words. Thanks for coming to the venue, man. And they're like, we've been here before. Oh, and then they were like, oh, we've been here before. And then they look at each other and like, oh, who was it? Oh, it was Devin Townsend, right? Strapping Young Lad. I was like, Devin is God, bro. Devin Townsend. I was floored by that. And they're all buddies, too. They're like, oh, Devin Townsend. Awesome. It was awesome. But then, you know, as soon as I uttered the words, I'm like, cool. Like, we're good. We're talking now. They're human beings. I'm conversing with the other human beings. But yes, I was nervous too. I was so nervous. I'll tell you another story too about, let's see, 2019. In 2019, what is Silent Rob's motion? He says, it's really wild feeling meeting, sorry, let me start over. It's really wild feeling meeting people like that. Like I used to watch The Pick of Destiny every day after school at junior high. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's crazy when you see somebody, you know, you only see them through a screen usually. And yeah, I know what you mean. Same feeling, right? So I got that same feeling too when I played with, so one of my all-time favorite guitarists too is Bucket. And been listening to him since I could remember, when I was a young boy. And one of the first bands, or the first band that Bucket had put together that got him famous was this band called Deli Creeps. Him and Maximum Bob started this band called the Deli Creeps. And Deli Creeps are fantastic. And so I learned a lot of their songs, stuff like that. His drummer, first I saw this post on Facebook, and it was Maximum Bob. And he was saying, I'm looking for a bass player for my new project. I said, oh, cool, let's throw my thing out there. I guess they saw something I played or a video or something. And just by divine, intervention, they hit me up, cold called me on Facebook, and I said, when can you be out here for an audition? I said, sure, I'll be out there. So I had a brief little gig with Maximum Bob's Stockyard Skinners. You can actually find some of that stuff on YouTube as well. It's pretty cool. We wrote and performed a lot in LA that summer. And life happened, with me and stuff, and I moved along, and they're in the studio again. Maximum Bob is in the studio again with the same guys, and they're making some cool stuff happen, man. That's amazing, man. I'll have to look it up. Yeah, look it up. Maximum Bob Stockyard Skinners. The music video for Dream Girl. That's the one. Let me type it in the chat. Here we go. How we doing? Man, I haven't really played this thing yet. It's all right, though. I like telling stories and talking. Nice. It's a cool music video, too. We were at the recording studio. That's a metronome, yeah. So we can do that in 3 octaves. Ah, lost it. So yeah, I'm just going back to the drawing board. You know, I don't know if I'm actually like, if I think I'm going back to the drawing board all the time, but I always just try to stay like with the fundamentals and see if something can come out of it. Could you name what? Can you name what your strings are tuned to? Oh yeah. G. D. So I got C, G, D, A, E, B. It's all tuned in fourths. Did you speed that up, mime along? Just asking. Did you speed that up, mime along? Just asking. I'm not sure what you mean. The metronome? No, the metronome has stayed the same. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, C, G. Oh, when I was describing the strings? Yeah, I know. I thought you were going to try to tune to me or something. That's how I tune my lead guitar. Mega Colossus. Write it down. Mega Colossus. North Carolina band. Right on, brethren. That's Cool Kid again. It's a cool, dude. It's cool, dude. It's cool again. My little brother passed. Oh, bro, I'm sorry. Well, that's good. Are they like metal or something? Yeah, I get lost in the stagger. What the heck? Johann Yotar. Yeah, I get lost in the stagger. I like all my triads being the same shape regardless of... Oh yeah, okay. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, they're influenced by Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Scorps, Kansas, etc. Kansas is amazing. Like classical heavy metal, they shred, dude. Nice. Great harmonies and riffs, solos. Nice. See what I mean? It's just a workout, you know? cap it off with that arpeggio. I like that actually. Oh yeah. Totally different exercise, but yeah. Ah! Took me out. I knew it. Let's play it here. Alexi was a blast. Oh yeah. Alexi Laheo or something. Wait. Ah, it's different. Different on those strings. That's why we practice. Here we go. Your timing is solid. Hey, thanks, bro. I am really trying to work on timing. Man, when I left MI, shortly after, maybe a few years after I left MI, I got in some keyboard war with one of the teachers there, and he said I was doing something, whatever. This is during COVID times, and this dude swoops in, this monkey, one of the guitar teachers, he swoops in there and he goes, "Yeah, don't worry about it. Zechariah never had really great timing anyway." And I was like, what? Screw that. You have to have good timing, like internal timing for a bassist. At least just have a good sense of rhythm. You don't have to be perfect, but you have to have a good sense of rhythm. So he was just taking a cheap shot at me, but I'll never forget that. So I do actually intentionally work on timing. Yeah, let's try to play it legato. Humania hamanaya hayasata. Hamayaya. So let's stretch it up a little bit. Let's go to 120. Actually, we'll go to 110. I was at 100. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Let's see. I do 120. I'm just gonna keep going up in 10. Now I'm playing eighth notes against the metronome. Okay, 120. I'm 130. Nailed it. All the pressure is always on the bassist. Everyone else can whack off or miss whole bars. But if the bass quits rolling or fails or falls too far off time, the crowd comes to a screeching halt, wondering what happened. That's a truth bomb, dude. Indeed. I'll never forget this too. Another, my bass teacher, one of them at MI, he always said something. The first time I studied with this guy, he's like, "All right, so what do you like, and what do you know, and what do you want to gain from this?" And I said, "Well, I just want to become a more fluid player, and probably learn my scales more and better and stuff like that." And he goes, "Okay, cool, yeah, And this guy was crazy, jazz guy, And I said, yeah. So he said, "Show me what you know." I said, "Oh, okay." So I'm like, and I did something like something like. And he goes, "Huh!" He says, "Stop. What's that?" And I said, "What? This?" He says, "Yeah. Don't do that." And I was so insulted. What's wrong? What did I do to you? I'm sorry. And he's like, "That mosquito twitch wiggling thing, you can't do that." I said, "Well, okay." So I still do it to this day. I know I have, because I've looked at videos and stuff. So I've still tried to break my habit of that. But I don't do it as much because of what he had told me. Because what he told me, bro, Johan, was, he said, imagine this. You go into a club, and you hear somebody doing that. Your head goes this, you know what I mean? So he says, everybody in the clubs, their heads are going to go like this, because everybody's listening to the bass. If the bass isn't just, driving force and no wiggling. Big difference. It's all going to be all off. Everybody's going to be all offset, dude. Yes, you're right. Bass and drums are so important. The rhythm section is so important. Absolutely. And locked in, So I learned a lot of that stuff pretty early. Yeah, just thinking about it right now, it's actually things that I've still maybe subconsciously know still, but I haven't really thought about it. It's been like almost 20 years, but yeah, still stands true. Let's see. Oh! Just isolate it. And then in conjunction with the other one. Ah! You know what I mean? Oh! Little fart note. Ah! Yeah, chicken. Ah, I think that's it. What do you think? I almost had it. All right. That's it. Let's keep it going though. Wait. Yeah, I don't want to be a chicken. I don't want to be a duck. All I want to do is click, click, click. I don't know. There you go, chicken boy. Chicken boy wanted me to play it, so I played it. Let's go up again. 140, 140, 140. It's almost like you have to play it legato at this speed. Yeah. I'm going to top off at about 140 on that. Oh, man. All right. So I just hit about an hour on that. It's pretty good. Pretty good practice. 3 note per string. Let's do it in 2 octaves real quick. 3. All right. Fair enough. Leg is sore. Right on. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. It's good chatting. It's good telling stories. Peace out.